Hi, guys. Welcome back. Do you believe in signs? And if you do believe in signs, wouldn't Christmas be the perfect time of year to start getting some signs? If you've been laid off, if you've lost a loved one, if you just don't know where to turn, sometimes we ask the God above for a sign. Or if you don't believe in God, sometimes you just ask the universe for a sign. Today, we're going to share some stories about people who have been asking and receiving signs.
Do you believe in signs from people who have passed away? I don't know if I do or not, but I'm going to tell you a wee story about something that happened to me. So on Christmas Eve, I have Paul's family over for like a breakfast brunch. Um, and we were sitting eating, and the song "Driving Home for Christmas" came on the radio, and I said, "Oh, I really like this song because it reminds me of Paul because." He used to work away in like London and Scotland and stuff, and every Christmas when he was coming home he used to text and say I'm driving home for Christmas and then play that song. Um so that was grand, and then it came on again like half an hour later, and then they all left and I got in the car with the Waynes to go to my mommy's house, which is an hour away. And when we were in the car, the same song came on again, "Driving Home for Christmas." And as soon as I got to my mommy's house, my sister was playing music, and the song that was on when I got there was "Driving Home for Christmas." And it actually gave me a really nice feeling, like feeling like it was with us for Christmas. And then yesterday in work, I was thinking about that thought, and the song "Driving Home for Christmas" came on the radio again. Could be just a coincidence, but mad.
Could be a coincidence, but a lot of times I'll be thinking about a song and then I turn on the radio and it's there. When I was younger, when we had corded phones, I would reach for the phone to call my buddy. I'd put the phone up to my ear and he would already be there. I think many of you have probably experienced that as well. By the way, Merry Christmas. Let's keep going.
This is my story of how I started receiving signs from the other side. If you're new here, my name's Monica, and I'm documenting my grief journey along with some of the extraordinary things that have happened along the way. When my dad passed, I think it was the day after my dad passed, my friend Christine sent me a text message and said, "You have to read the book Signs by my friend Laura Lynn Jackson." At the time, I didn't realize that I actually knew who Laura Lynn Jackson was. I had seen Surviving Death on Netflix, and she was one of the psychic mediums that was featured in that docuseries. Admittedly, even though Christine is a good friend, a very spiritual and wonderful person who lost her mother a couple of years ago, when she told me I had to read the book, I just kind of, in my head, said, "I'll get to it." I'm a big reader, and I had a bunch of books that I was kind of making my way through, so I thought I'll get to Signs when I get to Signs. Later that day, I was sitting at my kitchen table and the doorbell rang. My husband came to me and said, "Did you order a book?" And I said, "No, I didn't." And he opened it up and it was the book Signs. And I started laughing. I said, "Oh, Christine must have sent that to me." And he took the gift card out, the Amazon gift card, and he kind of tossed it at me and said, "Yeah, that was Christine that sent it to you." Well, it was a completely different Christine. It was a local friend, Christine, who lost her father a couple of years ago. So just blew my mind. At that point, I knew that my dad really wanted me to read that book. I read it in a day, and it was fascinating for two reasons. One is that it gives you very digestible 3 steps to getting signs from your loved ones who have passed. The other reason why it's so awesome to read is because it's just so hopeful and encouraging in terms of the stories that are shared by people who have seen signs. To summarize signs, it's pick a sign, something very, very specific. Although specific, it should be realistic, but not something that you could just see every single day. It has to be something that when you see it, you'll know.
That is something else. If any of you guys have read this book or have tried this little technique of saying, "Hey, show me a sign, I'm looking for a pink elephant," or whatever the case might be, and then you end up stumbling across that, let me know.
Signs are coincidences, but they're coincidences with meaning. They like you see your dad's favorite car driving down the road with his beloved Garth Brooks playing on the radio. It's a coincidence. Just seeing his favorite car, it's a coincidence. But it becomes meaning because there's another coincidence happening at the same time. It's like when my mom found a note written by her mom, and that just would have been, okay, that's what happens. You find notes that your loved ones wrote, but it was during, her favorite thing was during a garage sale. There's a coincidence with meaning. And for some people, signs just aren't a thing. They don't resonate with you. You write them off, or you just don't even see them. You don't recognize them. You don't look for them. So they don't come your way. The other side works with what you give them. They'll keep trying to send signs again and again, but they don't force it.
You guys believe that's true? And also, if you do believe in signs, do you believe what she said about people that don't believe in them? That they're just kind of blind to them and don't even notice them when they're there?
Have you guys been seeing the number 1 a lot? Now, seeing ones is a beautiful thing. It really is. It's super exciting. You can see ones as just a single number 1, 111, 11, 11, 11, anything like that. If you are seeing those, pay attention. The number 1 in angel numbers is to signify that your dreams and your manifestations are coming to fruition. Now is the perfect time to pay attention to your manifestations, to meditate and to really think about where you want your life to go, what dreams and goals you want to accomplish, because your guides and your spiritual team are sending you those signs to tell you what you want is right there for you. It is to signify either you are on the right path or you need to take the steps to get onto the right path. If you're seeing the number 1s, your intuition is strong. You have abundance of wisdom inside of you, and your spirit guides and your spiritual team, they are screaming at you to embrace that and spread that throughout humanity.
If you guys have been seeing a lot of 1s or 1111 lately, or you always have, let me know. As a matter of fact, one time when I went to Barnes & Noble, I actually purchased a book about how people constantly see 1111 on the clock, and supposedly it's a message.
All right, y'all, I have your sign from the universe.
Okay.
Your sign from the universe, your sign that you're loved, that you're guided, you're taken care of, the job is coming, the relationship is coming, your health is restored. But the thing is you need to assign a meaning to this sign first. Because I could tell you all day what it means. But you need to see the sign and know, like, oh, feel relief, feel the little zing, right? Okay, because the thing with manifestation is you have to believe it in order to see it. And if you need a little help in the belief, well, that's what synchronicity is about. That's what these signs are for. So I'm going to give you one, and it's going to guide you through the rest of the day. Okay? Are you ready? What's the sign?
Snowflake.
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 Your sign from the universe is snowflake. Okay? And it's just such a wintry, wonderful, magical thing. And it's a reminder that everything's working out. And you're going to be fine. Oh, also follow me on YouTube because TikTok's out of here in like 3 minutes. So.
I know, it's too bad. TikTok evidently is going out of business, but here's the thing. If you look for snowflakes, you're probably going to see quite a few this time of year, considering they're in every ad Target and Old Navy does.
So if I told you that you were going to get a check for $1,000 this weekend, y'all would be like, nah, that's not going to happen. But if I told you you're going to get sick this weekend, you're going to get a flat tire this weekend, y'all would be like, no, don't, that sucks. Why is it that we believe the negative things that can happen to us like that? No resistance, boom. Now you're thinking about it all week. Now what happens this weekend? Boom, you get a flat tire. You get sick. Why can't we believe that good things are always happening to us? That good things are coming? Why can't we believe that unexpected money is going to drop into our lap because the universe is so abundant? Earth, nature is so abundant. Why can't we believe it? Stay magical, babies.
So I firmly believe if you look for the bad in others, you'll find bad. But if you look for the good in people, I believe you'll find good. Tell me if you agree. All right, this one was a
Stop.
darn good
If you're
story.
seeing this, stop scrolling. If you believe in signs, definitely watch. Today's Mother's Day, and as most of you know, my mom's gone. She died in 2018. My brother died in 2016, my mom 2018, my dad 2019. Please don't scroll, listen. So birds have been my sign since my brother's passed, and then I believe became my sign when my mom died, and then when my dad died. And I always go to the cemetery, I grab myself a drink of my mom's nasty ass beer that she liked, and I sit on the ground, and I have a drink with my mom on Mother's Day. And no lie, this is what happened to me today with my car window down, and I kept hearing a peck, and my mom's maiden name is McPeck, and as you know, I have chickens, and I call them peckerheads. Watch what happened to me today, and I love it. I am at my parents' cemetery for Mother's Day, and there is a bird, and birds are my sign, and this bird's trying to get in my car.
That is a crazy one,
it's
huh?
a woodpecker. What the f*** is that? Oh my God.
What a cool woodpecker. We have different looking ones out here in Arizona, but that one was a neat looking one. By the way, would that trip you out if you were kind of looking for a sign from your mom and every time you saw a bird, you kind of thought of your mom and all of a sudden that happened while you're visiting your mom's grave? Oh my goodness, crazy.
You are being guided, and if you pay attention, there will be signs all around you, but you've got to trust and believe that you're being guided. I do not want to push my way through things. I don't want to force anyone to do anything, specifically with regard to my husband. When I start to get upset, I start to force my way and I start talking like I used to talk. I'm very, very aware of it now. So last evening, when we were talking about a particular issue that really means a lot to me, and I've brought it up year after year, and it was just really not the right time to talk about it, but I was feeling myself forcing my way. And every single time that happens, it doesn't end well with my husband and I. So I went into my space, right? I pulled away. I decided that this was not going to be a good conversation. So I just told him that I needed to, pull away and I'm not going to talk about it and we're just going to let it go. And as I was sitting there getting ready to pick up my book and read, I heard this boom, 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 like this really big sound. And I thought, oh my gosh, someone dropped something or someone fell. And of course, it's just my husband and I in the house. So I said, what was that to my husband? And I walked from where I was to where he was. And he said, I don't know, something upstairs. I thought you were upstairs. So I go upstairs. I look around and I look in the upstairs bathroom. And there was a word picture frame that fell off the wall. There's no one upstairs. So I looked at the picture frame, and it is a picture frame that says, "Love is patient."
That is crazy. I love those little stories like that. There's more to that story, but let's move on.
Our loved ones may have passed, but they still connect to us in small and meaningful ways. Have you ever had a song randomly pop into your head? One that reminds you of them or even their favorite song? And then you find yourself thinking of them randomly out of the blue? Those moments are gentle reminders from them that although they are not here physically, they are still very much by your side. I want you to know that they have never really truly left you, and their love remains a guiding presence in your life. It is so easy to shut down when your heart's hurting, especially when these messages come out of left field. Don't shut down that connection. When you talk to them, they hear you. So stay open to these signs. Pay attention to your surroundings, to the things you hear, to the things you feel. The signs from them are all around you.
It's kind of a cool story. She must have done a million little jump cuts in there. Guys, I had an interesting story that happened. One of the players that I talk about on my favorite team, the Arizona State University Sun Devils, is this guy. His name is Cam Scadaboo. He's our running back, and I just think the world of him. And I let venters know every other day about this guy. So anyway, I was actually leaving a comment on a regular ASU video because they're getting ready to play the University of Texas. And this is what I ended up getting back as a comment. Check this out. I think this will blow your mind. So anyway, I leave this message on this ASU versus Texas video. It just says, you guys should look at the Longhorn schedule. They're a big bunch of poop, yada, yada. And lo and behold, who is the guy that responds to me? None other than running back Cam Scataboo. Isn't that crazy? So I click on his little icon here, and all of a sudden I realize he's got his own YouTube channel. And if you notice, he has one subscriber. And guess who that one subscriber is? That is your boy, Jesse. I am Cam Scataboo's first subscriber. He's going to be starting his channel up next week. So I urge you to go to his channel and subscribe too. Anyway, there's so many amazing things that happen in this world. It's a really incredible world. So I would love to talk with you guys more about it. Go get your shoes. Let's go for a walk. Well, good morning, Venters, and Merry Christmas! It's the greatest day of the year, guys! I hope you guys are having an absolute beautiful morning. Hopefully you guys are with family and friends, opening gifts and eating great food and having just a jolly, merry time with the people that you care about. I believe in signs. I talk to you guys about how weird stuff happens to me. You guys remember the other day, 3 boys on scooters rode by, and it reminded me that a couple days earlier, I had purchased a couple scooters for the Christmas Angel thing to kind of keep my grandmother's memory of buying children gifts that were a part of that Christmas Angel program. And that's done at Walmart, by the way, in case you guys want to do that. You can go to Walmart real quick and probably still buy some gifts from them now. But the amazing thing is that I get these little signs, and it happens all the time. And if you guys have been watching the show long enough, you know these little goofy things happen. Anyway, make a long story short, one of the things that I told you guys that's been happening to me lately is I've been suffering from insomnia. Don't know where it came from, don't know why it won't leave. I think it has something to do with the computer screens that I'm staring at constantly, right? And so last night, I lay down my head to go to sleep at the end of the night, and for whatever reason, I still can't sleep. So instead of fighting that, I go ahead and grab my phone, and I open up to YouTube, and I had been watching some ASU versus Texas videos where people are making their predictions and stuff. And on one of the videos, I had left a comment. And you guys won't believe this. This is amazing. Something didn't make me go to sleep that day, so I open up that particular comment because I found out somebody had responded to it. Imagine my amazement when all of a sudden the one person in a world filled with close to 8 billion people, the one person that responded was Arizona State running back Cam Scataboo. Is that crazy or what? My absolute favorite ASU Sun Devil of all time. You guys know I have a lot riding on the Sun Devils this year, right? And what are the odds, guys, that he would freaking respond to my YouTube comment? So I click on his little icon. He starts a YouTube channel, but he hasn't told a single soul about it because I'm his first subscriber. Now, I don't know about you, but could you imagine if you were talking about Kobe Bryant or Shaq, if Kobe were still alive, rest his soul, Michael Jordan, you know, you fill in the blank. Imagine you're talking about your favorite athlete, and then imagine all of a sudden your favorite athlete actually responds to a random comment that you leave on a random video. And I know Bob's thinking, yeah, but Jesse, it was an ASU video. Of course the kid's going to be on YouTube looking what people are writing about him. But that's the crazy thing, Bob. It wasn't a Cam Scataboo comment. It was just a comment where I was talking about the University of Texas and the teams they had played and how we might be making this giant mountain of a monster out of Texas when it might not fully be deserved. And for Cam Scadaboo to respond to that, it just really makes me feel like we're literally inside of something so incredible. I think I told you guys one time I was at a water park. It's called Water World, or at least it was back then. And instead of putting my keys and my wallet and a couple bucks or whatever I had, instead of putting it into a locker and locking it up so I didn't have to worry about it, I put it in this Ziploc bag and I just kept it in my pocket. You know, I mean, kind of silly when you're going to a water park, right? Anyway, about 30 minutes later, all of a sudden I realized, or no, it was probably a couple hours later, all of a sudden I realized that bag of my stuff is no longer in my pants. It was lost. And all of a sudden I'm thinking, my God, there's hundreds of kids. What are the odds that I actually get a hold of my stuff, right? And I go to this one bodyguard or lifeguard, whatever they are, lifeguard. And the lifeguard literally pulls the thing out of her pocket or out of his pocket. I don't even remember if it was a guy or girl. And they hand me my keys. And I just thought to myself, God, that means somebody nice actually gave this to this person. It's like, what are the odds that it would be like returned to me so quickly? And as I'm exiting Waterworld that day, because I came in my own vehicle, I was meeting family members and stuff up there. And as I'm going and exiting to my car, I see this car in the front row of the parking lot. And back then it was just a giant dirt parking lot. And the license plate on the front of this car, it was a vanity plate. It said, Believe. And man, I've always believed. And I believe that some way, somehow, this world or this universe or this thing up above we call heaven with all the saints and people in it, some way, somehow, I feel like it communicates to us. Now, we're sometimes blind to the signs. Sometimes we don't see the beauty in the little things, right? But if you can find the signs and if you can see the beauty in the little things of the world, it's really an amazing story. We live inside of a story. I don't know if this is the final chapter of your life. I don't know if this is just one of the first couple of chapters. But I do know that we're all somewhere in the middle of our story. And I think we have a choice. Do we want these remaining chapters to be something special? Or do we want to just end the story as quickly as possible? So here's the sign for you. We're about to enter another year, 2025. Are you ready to put on your shoes? Are you ready to actually quit sugar with me? And are you ready to start drinking water and go on a walking routine with me for the next 90 days? Let's change our lives together. I'm telling you, there's something really magical, really special about this world. Whether you believe in signs or not, it doesn't really matter. What does matter is that we are all the author of this story. And while sometimes it feels like there's very little we can do to the outside world, the trick is you got to change the person in the mirror, because change comes from within. And if you can start to see the positive, it'll start to reflect in your outside world. And that's what we need to do. So even when I get a little upset, get a little down, and venting, just remember, I'm not by nature a negative Nancy. I'm a positive Paulino, you know what I mean? You gotta be positive, you gotta look for positive things in your life. When you're dealing with people, don't look for the negative stuff, because you're gonna find bad stuff where you look for bad stuff. What you gotta try to do is look for the good in people, look for the best in people, challenge people to be better than they were before, challenge people to improve. And if we can get everybody in the world to just be a little bit better in 2025 than they were in 2024, my goodness, it can be a real fabulous world really quick. There's a lot of things going on. Some people think we're headed for war. Some people think we're headed for calamity.
You yourself, on an individual scale, you might be thinking, my God, I'm heading for a divorce, or I'm heading for, the unemployment line. Stay positive. You never know what's right around the corner. And even those poor people that lost their jobs at Party City and Big Lots, I know you've heard this before, but it's so true. There's a good chance that an even better job and an even better career awaits you. Maybe God feels like Big Lots and Party City were holding you back, and maybe this was the only way He could get you moving to the next chapter of your life. Are you like me? I've always been the type where I say, you know what? Show me a sign. Let me know I'm on the right path. Let me know I'm doing the right things. This time, a couple years ago, I was still walking, but it was one of those walks where I just really felt like life was kind of passing me by, so to speak. But over the last 290 days, or however long it's been that I've been walking with you Venters, I've started to realize that, you know what? There are some really wonderful people out there. Sean, Mala, Lily, Carla, Becky, GL, Terry, all the others that I'm not mentioning because there's so many of you, Cola Styles. You guys really have made my life so much more enjoyable. And you want to know something? When life starts going your way, when you start feeling the venter mentality, knowing that, hey, we got a team of venters here, we are friends, it's a good feeling. I believe that people, when they're on a roll and they have some momentum behind them, I believe they can do amazing things. So when you hear over the next week or so that Texas is going to stomp ASU, just know Texas has lost 2 out of their last 5 ball games. ASU has won 6 in a row, and we're going to win 3 more, and we're going to win the national championship. There's a reason that God wanted me to not sleep last night. What are the odds that Cam Scadaboo was reaching out to me when you guys know I've been talking about this guy? I'm telling you, there's been some real 1 in 1,000, 1 in a million type things that have happened in my life. They've got to happen for a reason. If everything was just a coincidence, then this life is just bizarre. But if everything happens for a reason, then maybe there is something really incredible about this world that we live in. And I'm just really excited. I really, really am. I don't know if you guys remember, but the first day I did Walk Talk Vent, it wasn't day 1. I don't know if you guys remember, but I had a walk where I met with Stacy. And Stacy had said that, hey, I defeated cancer and I lost a lot of weight by walking continuously. Well, I asked the Lord, give me a sign when I'm going out on my first day so I have a good feeling about what I'm doing. And she was saying that walking literally helped save her life. Now, is there a bigger, better sign than that? I told you the other day that, sometimes you just need a sign to know you're doing something well. And then all of a sudden, my best buddy Jason, who's no longer with us, all of a sudden, me and his brother were talking. And again, it was because there was a football situation where BYU threw a Hail Mary pass, and I wrote about it on Facebook, and Trevor, Jason's brother, responded to it. Just crazy things. And these things don't just happen to me, they happen to all of us. The only difference is I take note of them. I look for them. Some people, they walk through life with their head down and they don't notice these things. I don't know if it's Carla or Becky, but one of you two told me that I think your parents or your grandparents had met at a particular place. And it was because the night before, when I was talking about these people going through layoffs at Party City and Big Lots, I was mentioning that, hey, a lot of us are going to meet our special someone at these places. And when these places go out of business, I feel like it's eliminating the Marty McFlys. If you guys watch my video, you know what I mean by all this. But anyway, to make a long story short, it was Becky or Carla, she responded and said, yeah, I have these family members that met this way. There's a lot of like weird situations where our pathways cross, and it just makes these things happen. You know, I've had a lot of you venters walking with me literally since my first couple of days, and you've been here the whole time. I'd like to think that unlike other YouTube channels, I'd like to think you agree with me that together we walk through some pretty amazing little walks. They might be routine, they might be mundane or redundant, right? I take the same path many times, but weird things happen. Yesterday I'm walking and the two girls come up to me and they're like, walk, talk, vent, walk, talk, vent. Man, so look at it from my point of view. Sometimes you're in the middle of a story, we'll call that story life, and sometimes when you're in the middle of a story, you start to realize this book has something incredible or special or magical about it. And if this world does have a God, which I believe it does, then there is something special to this world. And life does go on. And you will have all these little special messages that the universe sends your way or that God sends your way. I don't want to make you feel like if you don't believe in God, you can't have miracles and weird, crazy things happen to you. You can. We'll just say it's from the universe rather than from the big guy upstairs. So anyway, I'm in a weird situation. I'm on cloud nine. I've believed in this football team because something I saw in this running back. And now all of a sudden, this running back, out of all the people in the world, reaches out to me on a comment. Guys, I think that that's even bigger odds than winning the lottery. Jesse, it was on an ASU video. Shut up, Bob. Holy moly, quit ruining my story. It's my life. I know that most of you guys have already turned off the video, and that's okay. Because I know that that means Carla, Becky, Sean, Lily, Mala, you guys are the only ones with me at this point in the walk. Sometimes the best things happen in the last 5 or 10 minutes of my walk. By the way, I didn't tell you guys, the other day I'm up at midnight finishing up a video, and my ex-girlfriend Lisa calls me, and something just told me she's up to no good. She's probably having a quarrel or something with her current boyfriend or something. Just tell her good night and happy holidays and leave it at that. And that's exactly what I did. We didn't talk, it was just via text. But she was starting to be kind of rude, like, hey, why don't you come and we'll go to do this and that. She wanted to go to the casino. And I don't want to hang out with somebody that's in a relationship with someone else. And sometimes when you're broken up with somebody over a number of years, it's good to let bygones be bygones. And anyway, here's the thing. I feel like that was a sign too, because I feel like if I would have said, you know what, you're right. Who cares about my video here that I'm editing? I'm just going to run out, pick you up. We'll go to the casino, right? I felt like it would have been one of those situations where after it was said and done, I would have been like, why did I waste my time with that? So instead of wasting my time with that, I just said, you know what? She's probably just having a bad day with her current boyfriend. I don't want to be that guy that she turns to. So I told her, happy holidays. Have a good night. Talk to you later. And I think, honestly, based on that movie, The Butterfly Effect, I feel like if I would have ended up leaving that night and going and hanging out with her and going to the casino or whatever, I feel like it would have made it where I wouldn't have had this comment with Cam Scataboo, right? And by the way, I'm not a groupie by any means. It's not like I love Cam Scataboo, but I just think it's amazing that the guy called or left me a comment. I can't get over that. And if you want to know the best day or the best time of year for something like that to happen, it would be on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, because technically it happened last night at like 1 a.m, which is another weird thing. I wouldn't have been up at that time of hour to even know to respond to his comment if I would have slept normal. It was almost like even the insomnia that I'm dealing with led me to seeing that comment. Here's a weird one that I've been thinking about lately. Have you ever been behind somebody that's so slow at the intersection that sometimes by the time they look up and get going, you end up missing the light twice, right? Let's say you're in the turn lane and you're way back and you're hoping that when the green arrow comes, everybody will hit the gas and get going so you can make it through the intersection. Well, sometimes the person in front of you is half asleep, right? And you end up having to wait through the same light twice. What if those little situations were where the big simulation that we're in was actually buffering? What if it was so important in order to change little things in your future that you had to be stuck at that light for 2 red lights? We've talked about this before, that sometimes back in the 80s and 90s when we were growing up, you would pick up your corded phone to call your best friend Becky, right? And then you would realize that Becky was already on the phone there with you. She had literally called you at the same time that you were calling her, and sometimes it was so instantaneous that the phone didn't even have a chance to ring. We've all described having that situation. Another situation that we've had is one where back in the day we would turn on the stereo. Maybe it's in the car, maybe it's in our home, but we would already have the song that we wanted to hear on in our mind, and then instantly that song would be on. We've all had these things happen. Now we have that same thing happen all the time, but we think it's because our phone is spying on us. But again, what if you're thinking about Legos and then all of a sudden on your phone, Legos pop up? Is it your phone reading your mind, or is it you predicting the future? Because we know that sometimes we as humans are connected like this. There was a movie with John Travolta called The Phenomenon. And in The Phenomenon, there was a part that I'll never forget.
Sorry to bug you. Are you calling someone or are you shooting content?
I have a YouTube channel where I just, yeah.
That's cool. I'm a videographer.
Oh, cool.
Like marketing. So I was like, I've seen you around a couple times and I was like, oh, is this guy like handhelding phone calls or he...
I try to get everybody to walk with me. I have a channel called Walk Talk Vent if you want to check it out, and maybe you can leave a comment and I'll reach out to you or something.
Yeah, that'd be great. I literally live right here. I shoot video marketing stuff. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
sorry to stop in the midst of your take, but
Well, take a look at my channel. It's called Walk Talk Vent.
I will.
All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye. All right, so let's talk about signs. He's been seeing me around. He does videography, video marketing. He probably knows how to make an average video great. He might be that little thing I was praying for because I didn't want to go to the people in India that have always bothered me. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. I swear, the other day we walked by and didn't these things look like they were dead? Now there's more than ever. They're multiplying. They must be having sex like crazy. He interrupted my train of thought. I don't even remember what we were talking about now, but even him stopping there was just kind of amazing. He finally got the courage to ask me what the heck I'm doing. Who knows, that might be a business partner in the future that helps me take Walk Talk Vent to another level. And you guys know as well as I do, if ASU wins the championship, that's going to be special too. What's really special is that you guys get to kind of live these little events with me. There is a reason I am here. There is a reason you are there. Let's do this together. Ready? Let's say the Pledge of Allegiance for Venters. I can do this. You can do this. We can do this. Let's do this. And remember, the walk must go on. Always, always, always. Walk every single day. Your neighbors might just want to network with you. You might help motivate that next person to start a walking routine. It might be a tradition, just like Christmas is a tradition where we open up gifts together. Maybe in the future you can have a tradition with your family members of walking together. I want you guys to know that you did not make a mistake by subscribing to this channel, and you did not make a mistake when this channel found its way into your feed and you clicked on it. We are going to change our lives because we all know that the way to change the world is to change the man and woman in the mirror. So let's do this. And remember, sometimes those things that show us signs aren't always positive. Sometimes they're really dark clouds. But I believe all those dark clouds have really nice, bright silver linings. And sometimes those dark clouds can lead us to a brighter, sunshinier tomorrow. I hope you guys have a beautiful Christmas with your family. Hug and kiss everybody. Go out and get them that extra gift if you can. And I'll see you tomorrow. Keep walking, Venters.